Good morning or afternoon, depending upon where you are. How many of you remember those Fiber One bars that pretty much gave everybody a gut ache, even people who don't normally have gut issues? Well, for that reason, I'm creating this video that's going to talk about 7 bars that do the opposite. They're going to be more likely to not cause you to have gut health issues, and I'm going to explain why, or gut symptoms, I should say. So, I'm Ashley. I'm the owner of Oswald Digestive Clinic, where we help people improve and eliminate bothersome gut issues like gas, bloat, diarrhea, constipation, and more. If you're somebody you know wants to work with our clinic, go ahead and book a free call at the link below. And so these bars I'm going to be sharing with you today, they all are low in something called FODMAPs. And FODMAPs are basically fermentable carbs. So if you already have gut issues, it can be for most people who have excessive bloat, gas, diarrhea, constipation, that these fermentable carbs can trigger those symptoms even more, basically making you uncomfortable and maybe making your life miserable. That's when you have to start mapping out all the bathroom spots and you're just uncomfortable at work and you have to be careful with what types of clothes you wear. And I get it. I've been there. I had gut issues. I gratefully fell into functional medicine as a registered dietitian and so don't have to deal with that anymore. But I hear you. And so I want to give you some bar options that are going to be less likely to trigger that so that you know when you're on the go, you can just grab one of these and you can stay comfortable. Now, of course, it's going to also depend upon the different foods you're eating through the day, too. So you might still get symptoms based on a different food that you ate, but these bars are going to be less likely to trigger those issues in themselves. And I also want to share that if you find yourself reacting to a lot of high FODMAP foods or bars, really look into what the root cause of those issues are. If you have a bunch of food intolerances, food sensitivities, look into possible root causes because there are options and possibilities that could help to improve your gut in a way where you don't have to just avoid all those foods anymore. And at the end of this video, after I share these 7 bar ideas, I'm going to also share the top pick for like the best balance bar. Some of these you'll notice they still have a good amount of added sugars and things. Now, sugar is not going to likely trigger those gut symptoms I was sharing, but it's not going to be the best to be eating too high of amounts on a long-term basis in. And so at the end, I'll share with you our top pick. So the first bar I'm gonna share with you is from FODdy Foods. And why I put these bars as number one is because they're low FODMAP certified. You can go to their website and feel confident that all their flavors and bars are gonna be low FODMAP, less likely to trigger gut issues. The second bar I want to share with you is Rise bars. Now, before you say anything, I do know that most of those bars are high FODMAP. The first two ingredients are almonds and honey, which, yeah, they're really good, healthy foods, right? But for somebody dealing with something like IBS and those gut symptoms, it's going to trigger it and make them feel worse and less comfortable, most likely, because almonds and honey are high FODMAP foods. But they do have one, which is a sunflower cinnamon, that when I look at the ingredients, it appears that it is low FODMAP, even though it's not certified, and is less likely to trigger those symptoms. So if you go to Rise, just make sure to only buy that flavor. And I'm going to have links in our description below for all these companies as well. So it's going to be easy for you to find them online. All right, the number 3 option I have for you is 88 Acres Bars. Now, these guys are also not certified low FODMAP, but when I look at their ingredients, it is likely that the overall bar is low FODMAP or at least not likely to trigger those symptoms. They do have some high FODMAP ingredients, but they are likely in small enough amounts that's not going to be a trigger for most people. And when you look at a label, how you know this is that on the ingredients, the first ingredients are what is the most of it in the product, and then later on the ingredient label is the least lower amounts in the product. So if there's a high FODMAP ingredient, but it's towards the end of the ingredient list, you can feel more comfortable that it's gonna have less of an effect. So for example, we were talking about honey. If honey is like the second ingredient versus like the 20th ingredient, 20 ingredients, I don't know what food that would be. I mean, we certainly have foods with 20 ingredients, but maybe like the eighth ingredient, you can feel more comfortable that it's probably not a high amount that's going to trigger gut issues for you. The fourth option I have for you are Zing bars. Now, this is on the same page where a lot of their bars do seem like they're probably high FODMAP, but they have a couple sunflower options. And if you look at those options, they're likely going to be lower FODMAP and not going to trigger issues. So go for the sunflower seed options. Okay, and before we talk about the last three bars, I do want to share a free guide that we have for anybody that's struggling with these sort of gut issues. So, gas, bloat, diarrhea, constipation. I think this guide goes so well with this topic of these low FODMAP bars because this guide shares possible root causes to why you might be having these food intolerances. I mean, I too had to avoid FODMAPs for a while because they just made me feel miserable, but now I can't think of a high FODMAP that I can't eat right now. The only food that seems to really trigger me is eggplant, which is like super random. Like, who knows why? But these are some of the same things that I went through myself to heal my gut so that I don't have to avoid a gajillion foods. And it is called Five Ways to Improve Gut Health and End Food Intolerances for Good. It's one of our favorite freebies that we have. And so if you want to improve your gut health, improve your immunity, improve your energy, go ahead and click the link below and download that free guide. I have 7 years of schooling in nutrition science and I've been in the field for over a decade. I'm so grateful for those experiences so that I could not only heal my gut and get rid of those bothersome symptoms, but so I can help you do the same. So that link's below and please share with anybody that you know might need that. All right, let's dive in and talk about the next bar option that I have for you. And these I just happened to stumble upon on Amazon. They're simply called FODMAP bars. I can't find a website, but I can find that you can buy them on Amazon. They have great reviews. And so you'll see the Amazon link in our description below. And there's just four ingredients and low FODMAP. So safe and easy. Okay, the sixth one I have for you are the Go Macro bars, and I'm actually pretty impressed by this company. They are low FODMAP certified, so you can also feel pretty safe buying from them in their bars because they're certified across the board with their products. And they also have some other certifications like gluten free. So if you have celiac disease or you know like a very small amount of gluten can be a trigger for you, they are gluten free certified. They're also non GMO, which I appreciate because certainly that's a whole big conversation. But in my perspective, it's more of a better safe than sorry situation because reality is we just don't have that much information to understand how GMOs are and are going to impact the human population. It's just a very difficult thing to study if you really understand how research is done. And then they also are organic, which of course I appreciate not only from trying to decrease the exposure of our bodies to pesticides, but also for the whole environmental impact. So Go Macro bars, that's a good option. And then last but not least, and then I'm going to share the top pick is our seventh bar I have for you are the Enjoy Life soft chewy bars. Now these aren't as filling. They're very tasty though, and I say not as filling as in the last time I bought these, I maybe ate the whole box in a day because they're like delicious, but I was just hungry within an hour and they're so tasty that like I just wanted to eat them all. So there's that. But the cool thing about these bars is that Enjoy Life is a company that really cares about kids with food allergies, like mini food allergies. So if you or somebody you know has a kiddo that has to avoid like kind of a laundry list of different foods, send them the free guide, by the way, if you do know somebody like that. This could be a really great option for them because of how allergen friendly this company is. And then I would just say to try to make it the bars keep a kid or you fuller for longer, just make sure to eat it with some protein for satiety. All right, so what is our top pick out of all those seven options? So I decided the top pick is the 88 acres higher protein bars. So they have a variety. They have two higher protein ones. It's a dark chocolate brownie, it's a banana bread. And why I chose these is because they each bar has 12 grams of protein. So it's going to keep you satisfied for longer, keep you fuller for longer. If you're out and about running errands, you are diving into your bar, that's you keeping your purse for emergencies because you're hungry. Like, you don't want to feel hungry within 30 minutes again. So these are great for that. And then also, they don't have a lot of added sugar. So they have 4 to 5 grams added sugar. We should be saying under 25 grams of added sugar per day. And if you look at the other bar options and even the bars you have in your pantry now, you'll probably notice some of them have a really high amount of added sugars, like above 10 grams a day. So finding a bar that has a good amount of protein, lower added sugars is really great. And they also try to be organic as much as possible. And lastly, why I chose these bars is that they are made with pumpkin seeds, which are high in magnesium. And we've talked about this in other videos where it's estimated that 70% of people have low magnesium stores. And so being able to have and incorporate a higher magnesium food source into your days via use of pumpkin seeds is going to be a really great thing, because reality is there's a lot of reasons that people are now low in magnesium, and that includes everything from our soils are more depleted in different minerals like magnesium, so then our foods end up being more depleted in it. Chronic stress and other things increase the demand for magnesium in the body. Different medications can further deplete or have a higher demand, either way that you want to look at it. Magnesium, so things like birth control, which how many people are on birth control. And then, and there's more, we can make a whole video about this. But basically, those are the reasons why my top pick for today's video is the 88 Acres high protein bars. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of our new videos every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll look forward to seeing you on next week's video.